Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We'll do it a little bit different this time. Let me flip it to screen. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Let me close this. Go. Go. Let's see what we got here. All right, so 2014 Honda Accord 2.4 liter. Inspection. Of course, they do a lot of cutting when they give you a salvage engine. I can already tell you that. You got to do an inspection. Or you're supposed to do an inspection. This is a relatively low mileage engine. Relatively low, being about 87K. So there's a little prepping to do. We got to figure out how we're going to hang it and all that good stuff. So I wanted to start the video like this here so you have a better understanding of how I go about not just the removal, and a lot of times you just see me have one already prepped and ready to go in, but this time I figured I'd change that a little bit. So I'm not going to film everything, but plugs, you know, they got a snip when they do this stuff, so they're not going to save you any of the plugs or anything like that, or any of the wires, I should say. Everything's got plugs on it, so let's get started. Yeah, small update. So I hadn't done a whole heck of a lot to it. I'm still investigating on how I'm going to pick this thing up. These things here are notorious for having fine thread bolts, and fine thread is something that this old boy doesn't keep in stock. So I'll have to scrounge a little bit. Now, the vehicle this thing belongs to just arrived on the tow truck. I mean, I'm talking a couple of minutes ago. So we'll give you a quick look-see what it looked like. They have a standard hood prop mode, by the way. Just to tell you this is your standard hood prop mode right here. And there's also a repair mode. There's another compression down here that gets your hood out of your way when you're working on the engine. So essentially here's what we got. This is everything, of course, in reverse, or reverse from how I got it sitting. So you see what has to happen here. Basically, we've got to take the earth dream cover. I want to dream about it, the earth here. And I've got to take all this loose, battery come out of it, all that good stuff. Usual procedure. Yeah, kind of sort of that's where we're at with that. Let's get down to the ugly. Very ugly. So obviously the front side here. Oh yeah, that wasn't a big deal. I had an issue trying to find a place to lift, and already I ran into a little bit of a snag. I had to take the intake off of it. This engine doesn't weigh a terrible amount, so I'm hoping that this intake stud right here will be sufficient without bending the bolt. Right here is the business end to show you this already. Now, injectors. Get my thoughts. Sorry about that. Injectors right here. Knock sensor. Position sensor, crank position sensor here. You have to unbolt the sheet metal in an effort to unplug that. So we're not going to mess with the knock sensor, stays on there, but our injector is coming off. I do apologize, but the one downside on my little cable lift right here is it doesn't have a pivot yet. one more time. It doesn't have a pivot yet. If you understand what I mean. If you don't, well, I don't need to be telling you. So I'll have to turn the camera this way. I got these here Lyle pliers the other day. I think I mentioned that in the video. Long story, short story, pretty useless. Yeah, they are pretty useless, not gonna lie. I guess my expectations are too high. The detent on these here, on these injectors, is on the bottom side. These darn plugs are stiff. Alright, so we got everything unplugged on this side right here. So that's exactly where what we need for the moment. So let's see if there any more stuff that we got to unplug. Not right here. I did pull the coils. Intake runners actually look really nice. I am impressed. Of course, that is a Honda, so Honda not really known to build too much garbage. We'll take a sneak peek. It's not too terrible, but it is a direct injected engine, so keep that in mind. And when you have something that's direct injected, you're gonna if you watch my channel, for those of you that do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's going to be build up on the valves. There's nothing I'm going to do about it because this is built on, I mean, this is exchanged on a budget. These people here don't have a mass amount of money to spend, you know. A new engine was going to be totally out of the question. I guess I should have by now tried to roll that engine to see if it's even rolling and there dead stops on the compression. I mean, I'm sure the engine is fine. So anyway, without further ado, this is ready, this is done. All the plugs are unplugged. Everything is stripped off of it. Plastic, we got to clean the metal fitting right here a little bit. Just a second. That's why I love that wire brush. Polish it right on up there. Okay, so as far as your gaskets are concerned, I'm going to tell you, and I know I shouldn't be saying this, but I want to say it anyway. On the gaskets, I'm not going to replace the intake gaskets because they're rubber seals, and that exhaust gasket, I found that it's likely better to go ahead and replace it because it's a crush type gasket. So once you use it, they say you can't use them anymore, which is not really true either because I have reused them and I'll have a leak. Anyway, pause you up. So we got some bad luck right here. That thing is gone. All right, so this is going to be a problem getting that undone, and it is what it is. So anyway, I wanted to show you that real quick. I just took a quick peek. This CV axle right here got to be removed. starter, obviously, and all that good stuff. We're going to have to pull that before we do anything else with or before we can do anything else with the engine. And I just noticed something. I mean, it's just something that kind of sticks out. If stupidity goes around, I mean, I don't even know how you can be employed somewhere and not know how to do your job. Look at the friggin' weight on this wheel. And let me turn it a little bit more. There's no telling what we got going on over here. Weight, I mean, there's probably got way too much weight on it. If I was guessing, that's the only one that I've seen right off the bat. I mean, they were kind of sitting like that together, so it just caught my eye. That's neither here nor there. I just want to share that with you. All right, so now in a nutshell, I'm not going to go through here and every little bit of stuff. I mean, I removed the intake snorkel, the air box, you know, I removed those things, battery, air filter. If you need instructions on how to do that, without being rude, I highly recommend you not undertake this project. I will highly recommend you have that done by somebody else. If you can do the easy stuff like that here, like getting a battery box out of it and an air filter housing out of it, you know, there's not a whole lot there, I can tell you. Anyway, that being said, whoa, Lord of mercy. Moving on here, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's all got to come apart. There's nothing too difficult about it. We're gonna see what we can see here on the wires, you know, where we're at. So here's coil wires, you know, we can these connectors kind of click. You can hear them. Just a little tip. If the connectors don't cooperate, that can be due to a tension on it. So push it back in first and then clip it, or unclip it, I should say. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I really don't care. Honda, number one, oil most of the time while the other ones are dry. Dry. Number one is most of the time. Every one that I ever pull out is oily. So go figure. I'm thinking about pulling the plugs out just in case we might need them. That way I don't have to go back later on and get it. Full of oil. They did change plugs on them at some point in time. It's got NGK in it, and if I'm not mistaken, they come with Denso plugs. And this is a 14 mil. So next up is going to be this exhaust shield, some bolts up here. I am going to go ahead and remove the computer. Alternator is going to get loosened up. Alternator, we got a couple of more wires to undo here. Want to remove some of the hoses. The hose for the brake booster, we're going to undo it on the intake manifold. Pull some of the intake manifold bolts out of it. Yep, that's, and we're going to undo the throttle body. Yes, we're going to undo the throttle body. I want to undo it. There's some coolant hoses go to it. We got to undo that. So I'm going to pause you up for that process because there ain't no need in me keeping the camera rolling for that. These are trivial things, I think, in my opinion. You know about with the sizes on a Honda. It's not like the General Motors or Fords or whatever. These are 12, 10. The 10 is a standard, but the 12, the 14, 17, those are going to be your sockets and wrenches you're going to need on this vehicle here. Oh, let me pause you up. One thing to add real quick on this Honda, you will have to have a set of oxygen sensor sockets. A wrench is not going to take this off. You have to have something to go in here. That has to come out before the shield comes off. And yes, you guessed it, that's the air ratio sensor. So this is not just a standard O2. That's an air fuel ratio sensor. I don't know why it's that hard to say that word. But anyway, I've done cleaned this one up. I'll put that in a safe place. One other thing, my next statement is going to be, I don't know if you're going to find a shop that'll do that for you. Don't see why not. I certainly would do it. Your AC, if you find somebody to recover your system, if the system is good, that is, if you find somebody to recover it and log down how much they pull out of it, and you know, it'd give you a good idea, and then later on go back to that shop and have them vacuum it and recharge it with the proper amount. You know, it might be an idea for you to ask somebody how much that would cost. So as for the exhaust right there, I ended up cutting it, as you can see, and I was not even entertaining the idea to even try to loosen the nuts in the front. Not that you can see that, but anyway, right there, yeah, however good you can see that. So these right there, and then the ones on the actual flange in the front, I wasn't even entertaining the idea of trying to get them off without heating it up. So I heated the crap out of it with the torch. Got everything good and hot, and as you can see, I did get them. I should say I was able to loosen them up. So that's a clear win right there. Make me happy that I was able to actually undo it from the flange. So that makes me happy because now I can get to everything a lot better. Yeah. While I'm down here, I'm going to show you the other thing. It's very simple to do, but right there, where you can see, that's the bolts for the intake. They have to come, that has to come loose. There's that cover I showed you earlier, and up underneath is all that wiring mesh that I showed you earlier. So that's all right there. That all can be undone from the same place, and you'll have to get this carrier bearing off as well. And I'm sorry, I just yelled in the camera. But I'm gonna tell you something. I think this stems back from years and years and years ago. I was working for a guy in a shop, and it's been, like I said, it's been a long time ago, but he was a stickler on 1, 2, 3. He's like, oh my God, the world is going to end because I missed a step. Good God, this is all going to go to hell in a handbag. That's literally what the guy was like, and I think that's why I developed a deep hatred for steps 1, 2, 3. Sometimes I bounce around a little bit, and that's okay. I have no problem with that at all. So when you watch the video, make sure that you get what you need to get all in one shot, not do it twice over like sometimes I do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just literally smoked that ball joint. It wasn't going to come out either way. I mean, this thing was in there, so I've got a couple of bolts out up here. I'm trying something different. I got the tripod sitting on my work table. I don't think that's going to work for me. Works for some people. I just don't know how they do it. But anyway, we'll try it. Right there. Can you see that? There's a bolt right there, and there's a bolt up top high, and there's another one on the other side. You're going to get a... Let me see if I can... Okay, the light don't fold that way. Imagine that. So this is the setup. Let's see if I can get to the other bolt. And it was good for this one. We need to go a little bit longer on that one. Well, now we're on that setup. I'll see if that works. I need something. Don't know what it... Well, I'm getting my ratchet trapped somewhere. Car's way too high for the short me. Anyway, that's that right there. So we at this point in time can take a little bar and persuade that thing on out of there a little ways. Whoa. And make a little bit of a mess. Well, that went faster than I thought it's going to. Slide this back a little bit. Yeah, that was a little bit quicker than what I had anticipated. Okay, I got an approximate size. So, what can you see and what can you not see? That transmission on this thing is shot. I'm going to tell you right now, I can smell it. I hate to tell the customer that, but it's neither here nor there. That vehicle was moving when they brought it here, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. What we can see here, everything here is hot. So I'm trying. So here we are, dripping. Ah, ew. Yeah. I tried. Yeah, I tried to keep from making a big old mess, and I still made a big old mess. So right there's the plug. Lord mercy. Of course, it's going to happen. If it can't happen, it will happen normally, to me anyway. I could have drained transmission fluid, I opted not to do that. I lost about a half quart right there, and I'm probably going to lose another half when I try to fish it back in. Who knows? You know, might not lose that much. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Better than me draining it. Don't want to reuse it for sure. They know no good going to come from that. So yeah. Pause you right back up. I just realized something else. I'm out of oil dry, or well, whatever that stuff is that I use, nature's broom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get you back over here real quick one more time, because I just made the classic hurry up and mess up mistake. Okay, not something I did to the vehicle, but you know, I know better than doing this. See that right there? I always put myself a ratchet strap on my strut and help me hold it off to the side. If I'd have had that off to the side, I wouldn't have made near the mess. I mean, granted, I didn't make a lot of a mess, but still, you know, that gives it room. That gives that CV axle room to slide out, and that's what I was fighting. I was trying to do both things at the same time, which rarely ever works out. So normally, I always tie this stuff off. You know, and that was the classic trying to hurry up and film and not think about what you're doing mistake.